All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to MUSC Red Devils NCR. So, first of all, before we start, happy holidays to each and every one of you. I hope you're having a wonderful festive season, and I hope everyone is well set for the new year. And let us all welcome 2023 with open arms, and hope that everything in the new year is successful. So I have a couple of esteemed gentlemen with me. I have Jihan and Parth with me on the stream. Good evening to you guys and happy holidays to you all both as well. I hope you all both are doing great. Uh, so now let us. So a lot has happened in 2022 as far as Manchester United is concerned. We've gone through highs, we've gone through lows, we've been to the darkest of places, and yet at the end of this year, we are still standing tall because that is what the ethos of Manchester United is about. You can keep hitting us how much ever you want to. You can knock us down, but you will never put us down ever because somehow, some way, we always find our feet and we always end up standing come what the adversity is. This is the spirit of United and it has always been ever since the club was founded. With that being said, let us just dive right into the year. So we started the year under the management of Ranić on an interim basis. Uh, we started off in a very decent manner, but then things really started unraveling from January onwards, where the January transfer window was an absolute mess. We were connected with a host of names, but none of the signings could materialize because Ralph at that point was classified as an interim manager, but then and all his suggestions were put on deaf ears basically by the management. So Jehan, let's start with you. What did you make of January 2022? I mean, there was not a lot to talk about as far as results were concerned. We were somehow managing to eke out those 1-0s and the draws in spite of leading in most of those games. But we weren't able to make our dominance count in each of it. And with the fiasco of the transfer window going on one side, what did you make of January 22 in particular?
I mean, in terms of transfer window, in especially in Jan, I have absolute no hope because we hardly make any signings. I mean, last big signing what I remember was Bruno Fernandes back in 2020, and then we got Odion Ighalo on loan in that very window itself. So apart from that, I don't remember the big signings we have made and progressed in as far as the winter transfer is concerned. But as for the games was concerned, now when you're going back to Jan, I remember that game against West Ham when Rashford scored that late winner, and that it was a very chaotic win, and like we had to literally drag till the end and scrap that winner. So we have got those very scrappy moments. So we didn't look good. West Ham dominated us the entire game. I mean, that the midfield was absolutely, literally dominating us. So it seems like what I am seeing now in December is a vast difference. I mean, we are dominating the game, we are maintaining possession, having the ball, converting those chances, and like trying and maintaining those clean sheets. Like we may try to make the same mistakes at the start of the season, but then now coming, we are like ticking a few boxes each game. So that's a positive move. That's a positive motive, according to me. So yeah, we are going in the right direction. Like we need to just stick to the basics, and I guess we are on the right track as of now.
So, like you said, not a lot of great signings, and we are not the most active of teams when it comes to the January transfer window. Apart from the fact that you mentioned Bruno and Igalo, the only other high-profile signing in Jan I remember was Juan Mata way back in 2014. Apart from that, there's no such signing that I can remember. Who came in January and just immediately turned things for us for the good, or even made a substantial impact for that matter. So from January now we move on to February. February was the round of 16 of the Champions League where we played Atletico Madrid. While the performance in itself was not that good, we somehow still managed to scrape through with a 1-all draw at the end of the day in Wanda, that was Atletico's hometown. But the results began picking up for us in the Premier League. We beat Brentford, we beat Leeds United 4-2. That was just a day. That was just the big game before the Atletico game. So that was that. So that gave us the hope and gave us the expectations that we could produce something substantial against Atletico. So Parth bhai, I'll come to you. What was your February in a nutshell, basically? So in February, as far as the Premier League is concerned, we played Burnley and Southampton initially, led in both games, gave away the one goal advantage, and ended up drawing both those games. And then we had two convincing wins where we scored against Brighton, we won against Brighton, and then we won against Leeds. Then we concluded the month with the draw against Atletico Madrid, the 1-1 draw. So, what did you make of our month in February? Mixed bag as far as results.
Delvin, I think you are forgetting one thing, that we were kicked out of the FA Cup also
Oh
against
yes,
Middlesbrough.
oh yes,
That
yes,
was I remember that Cristiano missed that penalty
yeah,
inside that
correct.
good 90 minutes, and after that they scored the equalizer. So for me, kicking out of two tournaments, UCL and the FA Cup, this month doesn't seems to be very great. It was, I feel, it was a high or low month. We grinded some draw results in Premier League, but in the tournaments, UCLs and FA Cup, we were thrashing out. So I don't think that was a very good month for us. And apart from this, the Greenwood saga, we missed a striker because of that what Greenwood did to his girlfriend, and after that he was banned from Manchester United, playing for Manchester United. So Ragnick also there missed a good striker.
Yeah. So, coming to the Greenwood situation, let us talk about that. You said that it gave us a striker less, and we were at that point. The squad depth was not the best as far as the club was concerned. So, I'll ask this question to both of you all. I'll start with Path by first. So, how big of an impact was missing Greenwood at that point of time? Because surely at that point, if we would have had a natural striker, things would have been things would have been marginally better compared to what transpired in the later months of the season. So, how substantial was that Greenwood case, not only for him personally, but for the club as a whole too?
At that time, I remember that Cristiano was the lone striker, and Rashford was not in form, and Anthony Martial was gone on loan to Sevilla, and we had lack of strikers, and we had lack of wingers too at that time. So if Greenwood had been there, I think we would have fighted more nicely for that top four spot, the UCL spot that we missed around by 12 or 13 points in the end with Tottenham, I think. So if I feel if Greenwood was there, because Ronaldo was getting old also, and you can't expect Cristiano to perform in every match. You can't think that Cristiano will come and score 2 goals, 3 goals in every match. So yeah, the requirement for Greenwood was there. He was young. He was a lethal. He is a lethal striker, and he would have been scoring goals if he was there. And I feel that we would have grinded more results if he was there. You are on mute, Delvin. You are
Yeah,
in mute.
yeah. So, Jehan, speaking about the same topic, how substantial was Greenwood's loss for us in the second half of the season? Do you think with Greenwood
Obviously,
there, we would have at least had a much better Champions League performance to show for, if not the Premier League at least?
obviously, I mean, you've seen Greenwood how effective he was with his left foot and right foot. I mean, we couldn't even know that which foot was the weaker one. So obviously, his movements, his assists, his runs were brilliant. I mean, maybe his loss. I mean, when we lost him due to an untoward incident, so I guess that is why we might have gone to Anthony and maybe overspent that 100 million. He was maybe overspent. I would say, like costing 55, 60 million. We went to 100 and just grabbed him because we didn't have an option right in the at the transfer, and we were almost nearing the end of the transfer window when we were looking for a proper right winger, or to fill that right, to fill Greenwood's position, and Anthony was the best option we had. So I mean, Greenwood's loss was effective, obviously, because we didn't know CR7 would he stay in the summer or no. So if CR7 would have left back in the summer itself, it would have been a major loss because Anthony Martial was not fit that time, and that would have caused a major problem on us. And just promoting Alejandro Garnacho all of a sudden would have been a major task for him and Ten Hag, and obviously Ten Hag would have been judged. And like, I would not say that he already lost two games that too pathetic. I mean, against Brighton and Brentford, we lost miserably, like 1-2 at Old Trafford and then 4-0 to a team like which was not we were not playing football those two games. So effectively, like we played without Ronaldo, we played without Greenwood, and we saw the result back then. So I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, losing Mason Greenwood was a major disaster. I mean, after we got Anthony, I guess we got a major boost. I mean, we could see immediately how impactful he is against the debut game against Arsenal. I mean, scored that goal and he was balling around. And I still remember that one of the curlers he made an attempt versus Tottenham. I mean, it would have been a goal of the season for sure if it had gone in, and I'm surely he's going to bang a lot of goals. So yeah, Greenwood's loss could have been a major disaster than what it seemed.
So, continuing with the Greenwood topic, do you think Greenwood plays for the club in the future? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
No.
I believe the same thing. I think that bridge is burnt. I don't see any way back for him as far as United is concerned. He could find a place at another club, but then for all intents and purposes, his United career is done and dusted. So let's talk about March, guys. So in March, again, mixed bag of results. Our exit from the Champions League was confirmed, with Atletico Madrid beating us at home. A rather shambolic performance, and then just immediately after that, we lost to Man City. Rather embarrassing defeat once again, a 4-1 loss at the Etihad nonetheless. So overall, another disastrous month, along with the fact that Ranić, at this point in time, Ralph Ranić started exposing the club, should I say, in different ways. Very subtle hints, but the disasters and the failings of the club was there for everyone to see the moment Ralph Ranić decided to lay the proverbial truth on the media and to the rest of the fans. So whatever we did not know, it was coming out in spades. So all in all, I think the real demise of the club for that season started in the month of March. So Ashish bhai, I'll talk to you about this. Let's start with you. So Ashish bhai, what did you make of United's month of March in 2022? How significant was that? How significant was that as far as the progress of the club was concerned in the short term? And what did you make of Ranić's press conferences during that time, where his only mission at that point was to expose the club in whatever way he found possible?
Yeah, but I think the March was like a kalank for the United this year. It was like the baddest month ever. The main reason was the exit from the Champions League, that Atletico's, like, don't want to talk about it. But the reason that Ralph Ragnick, yeah, he did expose some of his, like, some of the weakness of our club and like put it out like to the world to just embarrass us in every possible way. But the Ralph Ragnick did only one thing for the club as of now, like Elanga, like not like that much of a player, but the pace he offered, like for the Atletico match at the Wanda, like Elanga was good. Like he was not the perfect replacement for Greenwood. It was like nice, but March was like the no month for the United. That's all I've got.
So, I mean, there is a lot of not a lot of things to pick from, but I think the only thing that came out good was Sancho's goal in the derby, which was
Yeah,
a thing,
that's it.
which
That's a
was,
Carla. Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
exactly,
That's it.
which was a thing of
That's it.
beauty.
Yeah.
And then we talk about the month of April, and April was finally the month where United fans finally got some good news in the form of Eric Ten Hag officially
Ten Hag.
being appointed
Yes,
as Man
exactly.
United manager.
Yeah.
So, Jihan, I'll start with you. So, when the news first broke out, I mean, there were a lot of rumors and reports making the round that it was going to be a two-horse race between. It was either going to be Ten Hag and it was or it was going to be Pochettino who had, and both of them had their sets of admirers and they had their set of detractors. But majority of the English press, the English media, the English pundits were inclining towards Pochettino becoming United's next manager. So when at that point in time it was officially announced that Eric Ten Hag was going to be our new manager, what were your first thoughts then? Uh, Keep about all that has transpired in the off season or the preseason or season. What were your initial thoughts during the disgust of that season? And in that, the only bright light was the fact that Eric Ten Hag was officially appointed as United manager. What were your first thoughts then? I'll come to everyone with this, but I'll start with Jihan first.
No, I was absolutely jumping around. I mean, I have been a fan of Ten Hag since, I used to see Ajax's games, like not only in Champions Leagues, but also I used to watch those league games, highlights. I mean, they were not telecasted on TV, but, I used to not only see them for fun, but I used to understand exactly what Ten Hag was trying to do. We saw Ajax had a brilliant run. I guess they were almost invincible in one of the seasons, having most number of goals. They even broke a record of scoring some 13 or 14 goals in a game. I mean, he had a very, very simple and a basic structure. Pass on the whole ground. I mean, just don't keep passing to one particular position. I mean, if left backs are passing to the left mids or left mids are just transferring to the striker, no, that's not it. You need to play like the entire 11 has to be involved if you are wanting to score a goal. Don't let the opposition try to get back. So, I was absolutely ecstatic when Ten Hag's announcement became official, because there were a lot of rumors, of course, and I was not at all in the favor of Pochettino, becoming our manager, because he's a good. I wouldn't say he's not that good, but it's just that he doesn't have that trophy winning mentality. From going to a trophyless Spurs to jumping to a star-studded golden plate PSG with having Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, you don't need a coach for that team. You have all the best players in the world over there. So, and it's like a world 11. You're coaching a world 11. So you don't need to be, even if you won a Champions League or something, or even if you won a League One, or if you won a sextuple also, it would have been made sense according to me. So, but still, I would say Eric Ten Hag was the best move according to me. I mean, leaving all the sides, whatever is happening right now or what has happened, let's say that he is a very disciplined manager. Brings discipline to the team. I mean, we've known what has happened in the past for the senior players, and what he's not, taken actions against the youngsters as well, who have not performed well in training or have tried to show their arrogance. I mean, he's just made a statement that we are here to play football and nothing else. I mean, no, everybody will be treated equally, and nobody will be like, I am the senior or I am the junior or something. So it's just we need that kind of mentality in the squad. As I mentioned yesterday in the comments also, like Lingard was never put that stop to that uh, things he was doing in the dressing room or outside. I mean, that affected his game, and then affected the dressing room also, including Paul Pogba. So
The downfall
Mourinho,
started.
yeah, or the downfall did start. And when
Yeah.
Jose tried to put that into Paul Pogba's head, and it didn't work out. And in fact, the board went against Jose, and he was
Those
sacked.
things.
And then it continued, and it became worse. I mean, after Jose, we'd have not won a title yet. So it all makes sense now. I mean, getting Ten Hag was the best thing ever, I guess. And I hope we get the silverware immediately. I mean, this season itself.
I
I
think the
think
hope
we are going to the semis of EFL Cup.
EFL
yeah,
Cup, yeah. Hope we
Fingers,
win.
Hopefully,
fingers
fingers
crossed.
crossed.
yeah, the
Fingers
hope to
crossed. Exactly.
the hope to get trophies this season is mutual, and we all over here at this panel, we want what's best for the club, and what is better than winning trophies. I mean, for a club that's
Exactly.
we've been starving for trophies for the past 5 years. It's going to be 6 years if we do not win the Carabao Cup. So a trophy would be great. Partner, what was your first reaction on hearing that Eric Ten Hag was finally appointed as United manager?
When we have all heard that Eric Ten Hag and Pochettino is in the race to become the United's manager, so I studied Ten Hag's games and tactics. Two things that I like most about that person was that his squad had a very he liked to groom talents. young talents who are 19 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, like Anthony, like Martinez, also Timber at AX, and Gravenberch. So he liked to groom those talent who were 18, 19, and who were very talented. He gave them chances. And the second thing that I liked the most about Ten Hag was any specific player wasn't playing in a single role. Like if Bruno Fernandes is a attacking mid, he's not only an attacking mid. For certain situation, he's playing with that defense line also. For certain situations, he's as a winger also. So every player is roaming all around the park. Like Casemiro sometimes plays as a left back also when comes to United. Same thing he did with Gravenberch when he was playing with Ajax. He made when that their left back goes up, then Gravenberch covers that area so that any attacking threat isn't created. So I think these two things, I felt it is very important for playing the new generation football, like pressing and all. So I think that at that time I was very happy. I didn't wanted Pochettino at all, because I had seen his quality of football with PSG and with Tottenham also. Yes, he was. I think he had gone to UCL final with Tottenham, but his performance was not top notch, not very convincing. Any football fan wouldn't want Pochettino as their football manager.
Yeah, so fair enough. I mean, it's a little too extreme to talk about, a football club not wanting Pochettino as a manager, because, I mean, of course, he would not be the right
If
fit for
anyone,
United.
like if anyone has choice, like right now Lucho is also available. After that Spain exit, he was sacked, and now Lucho is also available. So if any club is searching for a new manager, and if there is a race between Lucho and Pochettino, then anyone will be preferring Lucho over
Yeah,
Pochettino.
there's no doubt about that. But yeah, there will be a club that, would want Pochettino. And I think it is only a matter of time before even Pochettino finds himself a job at a very decent club somewhere or the other. That's the ultimate expectation. Ashish bhai, what were your thoughts when you heard the news about Ten Hag being appointed as manager? And what did you
Yeah,
feel at that point?
yeah. So I was happy. I was happy, but there were like slight remarks about Ten Hag, like at his work at Ajax. There was like he was too strict with the players, and many players like did not like his attitude towards the club or towards the players themselves. But I would say, like, yeah, I was happy. And the best thing that Pochettino like didn't became a manager, that like I was happy for that. But also, like, I've studied, like Parth just said, that everyone studied like Eric Ten Hag's like playing style, tactics, everything for Ajax, and his win percentage Ajax is very impressive, like 70%, like more than 70%. I get that's extraordinary.
73%, I think.
70, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's actually very impressive with like a mediocre club, not like a bigger club without, not like there's no stars in the club. He makes the club, like he grooms the players. He puts a player at a perfect position, like the best players on the position, I would say. And like after the club, after he took over like his United manager, and then he started doing progress, I would say. Like he got like many good transfers. The dressing room vibe changed, actually. Like the winning mentality we were like lacking, we got it. Like, yeah, that's it. Eric Ten Hag is a good manager now, I agree.
So with Eric Ten Hag, then obviously we ended the season on a rather disappointing note, with Brighton thrashing us, and then we an
Exactly.
understrength United team losing to Crystal Palace. But
Palace.
that was not our focus. Our immediate focus was to rebuild under Ten Hag. But
Exactly.
contrary to what we thought that the Eric Ten Hag era would begin at a canter, and we would start the era with a win. But what transpired was nothing short of an unmitigated disaster. We
Exactly.
started off the season losing to Brighton 2-1, and just when it seemed
Brentford.
like we would have turned the corner after the Brighton loss, we go and we lose, arguably in a much more embarrassing manner, to Brentford, where the game got
Brentford.
over within the first 35 minutes itself.
Yeah.
And at that point, automatically the knives began coming out, saying that is Eric Ten Hag literally cut out for the Premier League, or will he suffer the same fate as the fellow Dutchman Frank de Boer, who got sacked within the first 4 or 5 games for Crystal Palace.
But
So
the most exciting work, the
when
most
we
exciting
lost,
work,
yeah, go
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the most exciting like his work was like with the friendly against Liverpool. That match was like that was a good match, but the playing style he wanted to show one of his like total Dutch performance, total Dutch footballer, total football. He wanted to do that, and actually he did improve. And like that, like of that day, like I'm a fan of Eric Ten Hag. And then like after what like the Brentford game, the Brighton game, it was like it literally went downhill, like the straight downhill from that, from Liverpool. Like I know it's a friendly, I like it's for the players' mentality, the fitness. But any game you win, right, with a big club, it's aesthetic. It's aesthetic, like for a new manager to win like thrashing Liverpool. That was a very feel good, like losing to Liverpool, like the Man City games, Liverpool games, like everyone, like every United fan was frustrated. Like why can't we beat these big clubs? What is the lacking between ours? Like ours is the biggest club in the world, I would say, trophy wise, the collection wise, not the UCL wise, but the English wise. But like what is lacking between our and like other English players? Then that was like a good sign. But the premier first to Premier Leagues was like nah.
So, Jehan, speaking about the first 2 games, I mean, it was clear that Ten Hag wanted to play with a particular style. And in those first 2 games, the style did not work. I mean, his
Yeah.
insistence on playing out from the back absolutely backfired. So, Jehan, what was running through your mind after those first 2 games? I mean, obviously, it was one of the most demoralizing starts to the season. We found ourselves 20th almost immediately, where the likes of Arsenal, Man City, even Spurs for that matter, started with 2 games, 2 games wins on the bounce. Whereas we were loitering around with a solitary own goal and 6 goals conceded in the first 2 games. So, what was your space of mind as far as the performances were concerned? And did at any point in those 2 games did you feel that your faith on Ten Hag at that point was wavering?
No, not at all. I mean, you can't judge a manager's, like mindset or his talent based on just 1 or 2 games. I mean, any manager could face such a loss. So, a player like we have lost miserable games, under Sir Alex also in the derby. That 1-6 loss at Old Trafford was something way beyond. And we have lost against Chelsea, we have lost against Liverpool, that 0-5 with Ole. So that we have got disastrous. But yeah, again, start of the season, that mentality, of course, it was difficult. But when that's where Ten Hag comes in. That's where Ten Hag's mindset comes in. Like, he did not let anything distract them. I mean, okay, you have lost, you played bad football, okay, you got punished for it. Okay, now move on to the third game, and that was against Liverpool, if I'm not wrong. And we put one of the best performances, and like, against Liverpool since a long, long time. I mean, we beat Liverpool after like 2 or 3 years, or maybe even more.
Three
So
years,
that
three
was
years.
that was
3 years.
the that
3 years.
that, that was the spark which was needed. I mean, we have drawn against them in quite some games. We have lost pathetic last year. I mean, 5-0 and 4-0, and
Yes.
which was absolutely disastrous. Knowing the rivalry, and then then winning from that moment. I mean, 2-1. I mean, forget the scoreline, but that moment, that the game, everybody was involved in that game, including Lisandro Martinez, including Varane, and then that moment of trying, moment of benching or dropping CR7 was maybe the turning point of the game, because Rashford was absolutely got that spark. And it was a complete performance, and that spark which needed, and it carried forward. Yeah, we lost a bit of momentum in between, but from then I have not seen United go back. I have seen them go forward. And so, yeah, and I don't really judge them based on a few like before draws here and there. I mean, it's fine. It hurts in the end, but then it's fine. Have started that momentum, and it's going upwards. I don't see us going downwards at any point. So yeah, that first 2 games was a disaster, and 0%. Like, no, I had never lost faith in Ten Hag at all. I mean, I knew all those glory pundits would come out and just start saying he's
Exactly. Yeah.
Ten Hag out. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, to any manager.
Exactly. Yeah. So, part my a question on the similar lines. First two losses, a very disastrous headspace for both, for all the players who were involved and for the fan base, obviously. But then there came out reports that Ten Hag made sure that all the players ran the distance that was lacking. But that was the difference between the two sides.
The
And
Brentford and after United game.
after the Brentford game, exactly. So he made the players run, but along with the players, even he ran. Now, this is
Hmm.
something which not a lot of managers do. I mean, yeah, they will give harsh impositions and they will dole out certain techniques which feel would be sufficient enough to get the players in line. But the manager himself volunteering from the front to go ahead and do this along with the rest of the players, how far does that go? To command the respect of players, because let's be honest, the United dressing room at that point was filled with players who had massive egos. There were a lot of people who had their own opinions, and there was a lot of rumors, there was a lot of reports circulating around the entire team being divided into groups of different players. There was no the squad morale was fragile, and at that point there was no semblance of team unity. So the move of Eric Ten Hag volunteering himself to do the punishment along with the players, how far did you think that helped in making sure that the players know that this is a manager who is going to be there for them and who's going to have their back at every single point in the season, but at the same time making sure that there is no drop in the standards and there is no drop in the quality of performances?
Like you said, that Ten Hag also ran around 15 kilometers with the players, and there was some kind of report that he was very much tired after that.
Yes,
He
exactly.
was in a condition of faintness, and I feel that could have been broken the egos of the players like Rashford and many others that were at that time and in their egos that we are the best, we have to play. We were They were not united, we were not united, and everyone was playing their bit. Ki, yes, I will play this, I will play that. There was no attitude at all. There was no united mentality that Saf built it in this club. No die attitude in on the field. And after the Wolves match, not Wolves, sorry, Brentford match, 4-0 loss. At that game, I think 2-3 mistakes were by the keepers and the defenders. There was no technical faults, or that was, you can't say that it is Eric Ten Hag's fault, or he was doing something very much different. So that's why we lost. So at that time we failed, and I feel that decision changed everything. That running with the players, that connecting with the players, I think that is more of a connection. And after the connection, if you won't connect with the squad well, then I don't feel that you can grind result with the team.
Yeah, fair enough, Partha. You spoke about, there has to be cohesion, and it is up after a certain point. It is a manager, who the responsibility falls upon making sure. And the way that he did is unusual to say the least. I mean, this is something that not a lot of managers adopt to. But then at the end of the day, any method goes as long as the morale is back on top. So Ashish, let's continue on the Ten Hag topic on itself. So obviously, when Ten Hag came, he gave a certain set of needs that he would want while he's managing the
On
club, starting with
exactly.
uh, entire
Frankie de
control.
Jong.
He needs to have say in the transfers. So
Yes.
based on that, how much do you think did he have a say in the transfers that came in during the transfer window? Because initially we got only two players. We started off with Malasia, and then we got Lisandro after a fair
Exactly.
distance between them.
Yeah.
And once when we lost those two games, that is when the players started coming in. And even
Exactly.
then, Even then, there were a couple of embarrassments which we faced towards the end of the window. Most notably, the Frankie De Jong saga, which
Exactly.
went on and on and on and on, and then finally nothing happened towards the end. So, what did you make of the fact that? How much did Eric Ten Hag have a say in the transfers? And if he did you think he got the players that he wanted?
I would say 90-10%. So 90% he got the players he wanted, but the 10% is for the Frankie De Jong saga that he didn't got. I don't know what happened to Frankie De Jong at that time. But the main reason about that two matches was they started from the back and all that stuff. They were actually on the players who were coming, like who were expected to come from that window. Like they were proper. There was no midfield that time. McTominay, Fred, come on, they're waste. Like I'm properly saying that. So the team was dependable upon the transfers they wanted. Like everyone wanted Frankie De Jong at that time, like to control the midfield and all that stuff. And the fullbacks, Eric Ten Hag loved fullbacks. The first two games we lacked the both. The midfield was like very bad, and the fullbacks were like the dullest. So the transfer saga started with Lisandro Martinez got like everyone, like every pundit was like, come on, he's a chotu wala, like a small defender. What can we do? What can we do? क्या उखाड़ लेगा बताओ. Virgil van Dijk क्या उखाड़ा है, ये क्या उखाड़ा है. There were people like this, like क्या. But the Liverpool match, it was like a like proper slap to their asses, like the proper ass, like. And Casemiro was like a that like was like a surprise. Like I think that was like a first a fake rumor, and then it started to be a true, and then like it was like, wow, come on. this this is like the Casemiro, like that was a wow. And coming to Ericsson, I'm still not believe that he's a free transfer to us. Like come on, he improved our midfield. So yeah, and who am I missing? Anthony. Anthony was overpriced, I guess. I think we would have got him for around 50, 40, maybe like 100 million was too much for him. Yeah, but transfer side we did good, but we were more dependent upon Frankie De Jong rather than Casemiro. But indeed we got Casemiro and the things got it well. Everything is good. I think January we'll go again for Frankie De Jong.
So speaking about the transfer window, obviously we had a host of incomings.
Yeah,
We had Christian Eriksen on a free transfer. We had
yeah,
Malacia from Feyenoord. We had Lisandro Martinez from
yeah,
Ajax, Anthony from Ajax, Casemiro from Madrid, and we had Dubravka on loan from Newcastle at the deadline.
yeah.
So we'll go about talking about each players and what, according to y'all, how have they performed, and we'll rate them out of 10. So let's start with the first signing. We'll start with Malasia. Pat, I'll start with you. How did you feel Malasia has progressed throughout the season, and how much would you rate him out of 10? What do you think was his best performance, and what do you think was his poorest performance in the time that he's played here for the club?
Initially, Malasia was very hardworking, and initially in the matches against, I think Liverpool was his debut match in the Premier League. So in that match, I feel that his performance was top notch. He was all around Mohamed Salah, and but after fatigue kicked in, I think his performance dropped down with every match, and now he's not also playing in his preferred position. He's playing as a right back, I think, uh, in some matches. So I would give him a 6 out of 10, because in first initial matches in Leicester and in Southampton also he played well, and after that I think that performance bar just keep going down. So a 6 on 10, I think.
What about you, Jay? What do you think about Malasia's performance throughout the season, from the time he gave his first appearance as a substitute against Brentford till whatever time he has played now? And what are your ratings? His best performance so far and his poorest performance so far.
Malaysia, when we started got that year ago, I saw some of his videos on YouTube, scouted him quite well, and he thought he's a good, decent left back. I mean, a good backup to Shaw, as we know, Shaw had that injury concerns also. So yeah, I was happy with his signing, and initially I was okay. Like starting 3 games, he was fine. He looked good, and as Partbhai mentioned, starting game against Liverpool was the best game for me also, because his passes, his crosses were amazing. And then again, as Partbhai mentioned, fatigue got into him, and that laziness got into him. He couldn't get the ball ahead or get those crosses right into the box. So, and had those lazy finishes also, skyrocketing off target finishes. So somewhere, so I would rate him 5 out of 10 as of now. I really expect more from him for sure.
Ashish bhai, what about you? Same question. His rating out of 10 throughout this performance, his best performance and his worst performance.
Yeah, I would say like Liverpool is the best, of course. There's no doubt about it. And I would rate him like a six, a solid six. And I think, like everyone said, the laziness got into him. I think, and also improved. Like Shaw is also improved. Like he's doing good. So I think he's a backup player as of now. But yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka is also doing well from the last match. Also at the EFL Cup, he was good. I think he'll be like a very good substitute for the uh, black, both as a right back and a left back. Yeah, that's it.
All right, and now the next signing we'll speak about is we speak about Ericsson. Now, what a year Ericsson has had, from the jaws of death to becoming one of the most important fulcrums of this United midfield. I mean, that the fact that he's playing is the testament of how many prayers and how many well wishes that he had throughout the football world. Uh, and safe to say that Ericsson has consistently been among our best performers in this season. And the games where he wasn't there was the games where we genuinely felt his absence. And those were the games where we did not manage to, keep a foothold on the game. So, Parth bhai, I'll start with you with Ericsson. Same questions. What do you think his impact has been on this side ever since he started? His best performance and the game where you think he did not perform up to his lofty standards.
I feel that Ericsson, first of all, he came as to free as a free transfer, as a free agent. I couldn't believe that because I thought that Spurs or any other club will easily convince him because of the UCL spot that they had, which we didn't. And secondly, we have seen change after Ericsson kicked in and Fred was out. I think Ericsson and McTominay was playing in the double pivot for United, and after that we have seen quality. Uh, Basically, Ericsson is a type of midfielder who can hold the ball, who can uh, who can go for the through passes, who can put in the ball in the box at the player. So I feel he has done all that things for us till now, and I don't feel that he had any bad matches till now. But my favorite match for him was the one versus Arsenal, 3-1 win for us. Uh, in that game, I still remember that he was all over the place. He was defensively present. He was offensively there. I think he did a goal or did a assist. I didn't remember that. But in that game, he was all over the ground. He was receiving the ball from the goalkeeper, from the defenders. He was running with the ball, and he was uh, delivering it to the forwards of United. So that was I think the best game for Christian Eriksen, and I will give him a solid 9. This transfer was according to the free, and the return that we are getting for that free is very good.
GA, same question, but another caveat that I will add to this is, do you believe that Ericsson's impact on this side is what we expected Paul Pogba to have in the 6 years that he spent with us? The questions are the same. How has his arrival in this side influenced our performances? His best performance, his worst performance, his total score out of 10. But this is, do you think that he's having the impact that we expected Pogba to have in the time that he was with us?
Ericsson signing again on free was like a bonus, according to me. I mean, we got a brilliant statement signing, and that too on a free transfer, despite of having Europa League. So that was of the plus point. So yeah, I mean, he has been one of the players who has been consistently playing well. I mean, yeah, we have seen some dip in performances of him, but that obviously is being covered up by his best performances. Like if he's playing 10 games in a row, he will make sure he plays 9 of them at a perfect level. Like one he might have an off day. So you know that you don't really have that hate or anger towards a player like Ericsson. We know what he's capable of, a good set piece taker, a good player who can score long range goals, who can put in the balls into the D box. I mean, a perfect midfielder, what we were looking for since a long time. I mean, the last we got was Bruno Fernandes. So apart from that, we didn't have that quality midfield. So getting Ericsson on free was like a plus point. So best performance for me was against, actually it would be sounding, I mean, weird, but it was against Brentford. I mean, he was the standout player. Tried to score a goal against his former club, hit the post once, I guess, and tried to make assists, but obviously didn't land up. He tried to even assist Ronaldo once, but again got off target. So he was like the standout performance, even in that 4-0 loss, a pathetic loss. So that was one of the best performances I've ever seen of him in a United shirt. But apart from that, obviously the goals he scored, apart from that, I mean, you can't just pick out one performance of him. Like, the smallest of the things you see, Ericsson is involved. I mean, now suddenly against even against whom did we play? Nottingham Forest in the previous game. I mean, you saw how brilliantly he spotted out Rashford and he scored. He assisted that goal. It was a beautiful set piece. And we used to lack set piece goals. I mean, we got a set piece goals after like so many games later on. So now with Ericsson in the squad, we know we can continue taking those set piece chances and converting them into goals. So yeah. So I'll rate him a 9 on 10 for sure.
Ashish, what about you?
I
What
think
are your thoughts about Ericsson?
Ericsson, I think hardly he got like a bad game. He was like a very good player all through the matches he played. But the best moment was the header from the Rashford, the pass he gave, 100th goal of Rashford. That pass, man, that pass, come on. And the Fulham game also, the one he scored, the masterclass, like proper masterclass. And the way he opens up the spaces, the best partner for Bruno Fernandes, I would say the space he generate and and a deep like we are like a midfield like from the starting United being like a midfield team and a strikers team, not like a proper defensive team. But the Ericsson, I would say 9.5 for sure. The free transfer and the ability, the natural ability he brings, this like a playmaker, I would say like a solid 9.5. And I think he hardly had like a bad game. I don't remember because he's that good. Yeah, I would say yes.
So we move to arguably one of our favorite players in the short while that he's been playing for us. He's become a cult favorite, and he's
Exactly.
got the entire United fan base on strings at this moment. And it feels like he's been there at the club for years, and we as fans would literally go to war for him if anyone utters a word about him. And
And a World Cup winner.
I'm talking about none other than our new World Cup winner,
World Cup winner.
our Argentine, our Lisandro Martinez. So Parthbhai, I'll make this easy for you. What is the score that you give him, and why is it a 10 out of 10?
Good one.
Man, the intensity that he brings in that defense line, he has that leadership skills that I think we had been searching for years after the departure of Vidic and Ferdinand. We
Yes,
were
absolutely.
searching that leadership skills in that defense line for years. No, we can't expect that from Harry Maguire. We can't expect that from Victor Lindelof. We can't expect that from Eric Bale. So that first of all, his passes, vertical passes, man, those passes, I feel that those I only few defenders in this world can do that kind of uh, inch perfect passes, I can say. And many of the pundit English pundit said that he's very short. He's 5'10" or 5'11", and he won't be able to do anything. And the long uh, strikers will bully him, like Nunes will bully him, Haaland will bully him, and he proved everyone wrong. I think he's the player with the most uh, duels he
Most
won, air
aerial
duels,
wins and the most,
aerial
yeah,
duels.
most success in
Yes,
aerial battles. Yeah, correct.
and he heads the ball like he will send the ball to Mars. So the way he plays, in the intensity in which he plays, is incredible.
Fair enough. I mean, his intensity and his ferocity at the back, is something that we've missed over the years. And we did not have that commanding presence in our backline, who, with the sheer adrenaline that he possesses, with the sheer adrenaline that he brings to the game, it automatically pumps up the rest of our backline. So, I mean, his presence has, made a massive difference with the way that United play, and obviously, that is there to see with the performances that we are putting in as well. Jehan, same question. Uh, but what do you think was his best game and what do you think was his worst game? So if you ask me, uh, his best game arguably was the game against Liverpool.
Same.
It's because the reason we won that game was because he set the tone. That shove on Mo Salah. It was not because of his defensive actions or his clearances or his block. It is that one shoulder push that he gave to Mo Salah at the start of the first half, which gave the indication that we are not going to roll over and give you all a win. You all will have to work for this, and we are not going to lay over. This is not the same United that you've seen. We are here to fight, and we will make your lives a living hell. So that was the best performance for me. Jay, what do you think? Do you
Yeah, I
agree,
mean,
or do you have any other performances that you
yeah.
feel is the same?
He's been consistent, another consistent signing. I mean, all our signings so far have been very consistent enough. So don't have no complaints from Licha at all. I mean, he had many questions. United players were asking the question like, he's short, what will he defend? Look at Varane and look at other players. So yeah, what will he do? And he's turning out to be the best defender right now we have since a long time. I mean, we had always had bad, like good defenders, but we struggled to find good centre backs since a long, long time. So, and we had at likes of Phil Jones and Chris Smalling at back then, and we used to struggle against those teams in European teams. And now suddenly to having one of the best centre backs in the world right now, and in fact the best back four we have in the entire Premier League so far. I mean, if I don't know, it's a debatable thing, but still we have good quality like in the form of Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez. So I mean, quality center backs, and we have good backups also. Victor Lindelof is there, and then you have likes of Harry Maguire. Of course, I won't be commenting much on him, but yeah, Leach's signings absolutely, and best game so far Liverpool, and he absolutely pocketed Salah, completely dominated him, and never allowed him to go forward. And yeah, I mean, no margin for error. 9.5 rating for me so far.
Yeah, I think we'll take out the point five because of his game against Fulham, because I think that was the only game where I felt that he was a little lacking, because Dan James on that wing absolutely, I it is a very overused word in the context of the Premier League, but Dan James, from the time he came on, absolutely terrorized Martinez on that
Exactly,
wing with
exactly.
his sheer pace and with his sheer direct running. That was the only time I seen Martinez a little confused and a little flustered when it came to handling the game. Apart from that, he's been phenomenal, and
Mhm.
rightly so. Ashish, what are your thoughts on Martinez, and what are your thoughts about the Martinez and Varane centre back pairing? I mean, there was a time where we used to enter games thinking that if we concede one, it's fine. Max to
Yeah,
max, even if we concede two, it's not a problem. But
yeah,
now
exactly.
United fans as a whole are talking about the confidence about the fact that we will keep clean sheets. I think even in
Exactly.
yesterday's stream, Jehan and all of us at the panel also were pretty confident that we will not concede against Wolves tomorrow.
Yeah,
Whereas in the past, these were the teams that we would concede against, and we would find hilarious ways to concede. That such
correct.
was the state of our defense. So, what
Exactly.
do you make of Martinez's impact on our defense, and what do you make about the Varane and Martinez centre back pairing?
The thing Martinez has got into this team is that winning mentality we are lacking. Like the back line has to be it has to be like the proper defensive. Like the winning mentality should start from the there. Like the like at any cost, what will be like? I think we are like trailing 1-0, but we have to win the match. We have to not concede a goal. The thing is that the mentality the Lisandro Martinez has got. Varane also had got something, but the pairing with Maguire was not good last season. Maguire was like it was like a clown move by Maguire and every match. But the Lisandro Martinez, like the Liverpool match, he got like every United flank flying. Like, come on, we are beating Liverpool now. Come on, this is true. This is happening right now, like in front of us. Salah is being trashed by Lisandro Martinez. The things which like every fan wanted to see for the club, right? So that he bought like winning mentality, the defensive mind, the defensive minded, the butcher, like to kill everybody, to kill the strikers, to kill the passers, to kill everything, and like to win the duels also. I think he's the most one duel. I think in the whole Premier League, despite being a short one. And the Varane is agile. So come on, the best
They are meant
CBs.
for each other. They are meant for
Yeah,
each other.
exactly. They are the better love story than Twilight, I guess. The best. They are made for each other.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, for the first time, I enjoy when our team makes a
Yeah,
tackle because the sheer adrenaline that comes out of winning those tackles, and it is solely because of the fact that Varane and Martinez have the sort of understanding, uh, and they know when to take cover for each other. So
and
with
in the
that, let's
Arsenal match also, I remember that Martinelli had got like an excellent run, and there was a pass, I think from Odegaard or something. The way he brushed it to that, and he like the Varane, that was like
exactly.
fantastic. Come on,
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
the
Tell me.
mind, the mentality they both have, right? The mind-to-mind connection, the best thing.
Yeah,
Like if if
yeah.
if if someone goes forward, the other one has to be at the back. It has to be at the back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Now
yeah,
we
it's
come
like that.
to now we come to the further part. So, the next signing we will talk about is Casemiro. Now, let's be honest. If any one of us woke us up in the middle of August, just before the 2 3 days before the Liverpool game, we are reeling from the shock of the Brentford humiliation,
Yes.
and then there come reports that United's pursuit for Frankie De Jong has stalled. All right.
So, yeah,
If at
yeah.
that point, if anyone would have come and told us that we would be signing Casemiro for 70 million within 5 hours, I would have literally gone ahead and told them, "Are you taking the piss, bro? Like seriously, are you taking the piss?" But Casemiro happened. Uh, he entered Old Trafford just before the Liverpool game, and he took his time. He took his time to get acclimatized to the surroundings of the Premier League. He did not get his Premier League start for a while, but from the time he's made that start, it's just been one step after another, and now Casemiro has become the rock of our midfield, and he's basically made he looks tailor made for United at that CDM. I mean,
I would
it's
say yes.
it's funny how good he is, and it's funny how ridiculously easy he makes breaking play look. Parth bhai, what are your thoughts on Casemiro? I mean, for me, if you speak, I mean, words will fall short to describe the impact that he's currently had. Partha, what do you make of Casemiro's signing? What do you make of the impact he's had on the side? And how crucial will it be to keep Casemiro fit and healthy? Because it goes without saying at this point that the moment, God forbid, touch wood, that if an injury has to befall Casemiro, we will be calamitous. So, like,
Yeah,
how
totally.
big do you think is Casemiro signing and the impact that he's had on our entire team?
So first of all, the August time when we lost 4-0 to Brentford,
Guys, can
I
I
thought
interrupt
that
you all for a minute? Sorry
Yeah,
to
yeah, sure,
interrupt.
sure. Yeah,
So,
Ronaldo
guys,
signed for
yeah,
Al
that's what I
Nassr, right?
wanted to mention. Yeah,
Al Nassr,
Cristiano
right?
Ronaldo signs for Al Nassr.
Okay.
That's an official thing. So,
I
Is it
think, I think,
official?
yeah, it
yeah,
is
Is
yeah,
it
it
official.
official?
is.
Yeah,
It
it
is
is
official.
What?
official. It is official. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
Chalo, he didn't went to a Champions League Cup. I'm
He's
happy, bro.
he's
I'm happy.
he's
Like, come
he's
on.
he's gone on a 2-year contract now. Now I don't know about that
What?
2030 thing. It's just a 2-year contract, and I don't know about the 2030 contract of that global football, soccer, and all that crap.
I
But
doubt
yeah,
it will be for that long. He could be, because I think they already have
so
Messi as ambassador.
relief.
Yeah,
It's a relief. It's a major relief. He's not gone to any rival team or anything. So wish him
No,
good
like
luck,
I think
whatever
it
happened.
would have been fun to like if he went to Chelsea and stuff. No.
No, no,
No,
no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no,
it
no,
no,
no.
no,
If
wouldn't
he
no.
make
did that,
sense.
it would have been exploded. But
No,
luckily, he just
it also wouldn't have made sense for Chelsea, and it wouldn't make sense for
not at all.
Ronaldo as well.
Not at
It,
all.
Exactly.
it wouldn't.
Exactly.
It wouldn't.
No, no, it
It
would have
just,
turned hatred. It would have turned hatred for us even
and
more. I
even
mean,
Exactly.
he wouldn't gel well with that side. I mean, I cannot see him. I would not be able to see him perform well in that Chelsea side, because they are just buying players left, right, and center without a clear direction. So I don't, even though they are offering Champions League, or even though their owner wanted him early on, it's too disjointed a side for Ronaldo to have an impact in that side. So I mean, it's a good thing that he's got a club finally. So whatever he does from now on, it's good. And if in spite of the interview, I think it's not going to change the fact that he is one of the greats of our sport, and that is going to remain for a longer period of time. So
Yes.
coming forward to Casemiro part by, what do you think is the impact?
So when we lost to Brentford 4-0 in August, I thought that the rival fans are trolling us by saying that Casemiro, United is speculating Casemiro for the next transfer. And thanks to Rabiot and his mother, who said
Correct.
that we
Correct.
don't
Yes,
want
I
to
was.
sign the deal with United because of the salary issues.
Thanks,
So
Ma.
I can thank her mother every day, his mother every day. And secondly, at first he was looking a bit shaky when he was getting the start from the bench. And at that time, McTominay was performing very well. I don't know what happened to
Yeah.
him at
Yeah.
that time.
Correct.
The
Correct.
Liverpool game and those 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
games, he was performing very well. But since he got start, so we can see that he gives the freedom for Licha to go forward, freedom to for Varane to go forward, freedom for Ericsson to do his stuff, or for Bruno Fernandes to do his stuff. Now you can see that Bruno has less defensive roles in the
Correct.
team, so he can do his stuff that he always does. He tries to be more creative, and he tries to provide those crucial assists and to go for goals. So I feel that he's like Ten Hag said, that he's the cement between the bricks for Manchester United right now. And coming to your point, it is very, very, very important to keep him fit. I think that he will be fit for the next 3, 4 years, if no major injury, because he's around 30, and KDB is also around 30 as well. So both are performing very well, and I think that he will perform for us for next 3, 4 years till the next World Cup, I think.
Fair enough. So, Jay, we'll talk about the next signing. We'll talk about Anthony in your case. So, like you earlier pointed out, we did end up overpaying for him, for a player who ideally would have cost around 50-60 million. But then our hesitance, our fumbling, and the fact that Ajax kept on increasing their price at every single deal, it did make things very complicated towards the end. But somehow we ended up getting our man, and fair enough, he started the season with an app. He started his United career on an absolute roll, scoring in 3 straight Premier League games. But ever since then, there has been a small dip. You can put that down to still not coming entirely to the pace of the Premier League or whatever that is. So, what do you make of Anthony's season so far, and what do you think is the room for improvement for him further on?
first and foremost, the room for improvement right now, he has to live up to the price tag. That's
Fair
the
Yeah.
enough.
main
Correct.
priority right now. That has to be priority for any player who's been gone above 100 or above. I mean, the club has spent into 3 digits. I mean, I guess this is the most expensive signing we have done. I mean, no,
Yes,
sorry, that
we it is
we
our
have
most
done.
expensive san. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, exactly. I think after this is exactly after our Paul Pogba, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pogba
Yes,
comes
So
Paul
yeah,
second.
Pogba.
Pogba
Yeah,
comes
and
second.
again, so that tick mark, that first priority over there, second priority, you're filling in Mason Greenwood shoes. So you need to also live up to that expectations. You were valued at 55 to 60 million at max. But Ajax obviously made use of our, made use that
Weakness.
United is wanting of a desperate of a they wanting a striker, and they didn't want to sell Anthony. That was the whole priority over there. And so they like, okay, fine, we'll take use of that, and we quote 100 million. And so United also went on spending 100 million, wanting a good right wing over there. So yeah, getting him first match, absolute bang on target. And he played around 60-65 minutes, but he made sure he was there, and we could see him balling around, doing all that. But yeah, again, I think I get those little bit kind of Lingard vibes. I mean, dancing around and fooling around on the ground. He's a very, very talented player. Could be a future superstar for sure in the Premier League. Could compete for the Golden Boot some years down the line. But yeah, as not too much worried about him is because we have Ten Hag as our coach, so who knows him in and in out from Ajax, of course. And I don't see Anthony, going too much down, but I just want him to climb up. And if he steps up his game, if he steps up his conversion rates, you've seen Anthony curling the ball so well into the left corner. Every what in each of the games he's tried his best, and that goal against Man City in the derby at Etihad was outstanding. I mean,
Outstanding. Yeah.
that for me, that was the goal of the
That
season
was out
so
of
far.
nowhere.
Out
That was
That's
out of
exactly
exactly
what
my
I
nowhere.
know.
point. That was the typical Anthony goal we were expecting, a proper
You
left-footed
just
goal.
you give him little space and he'll just make you pay. He'll just
Yeah,
make you pay. It's just
absolutely
like
correct.
Aryan Robin in his prime. You know what he's going to do.
Absolutely.
You know every time he's going to come into the box or when he's going to be in and around that box, he's going to cut onto his left foot and he's going to go top bins. But yet you just can't do anything about it. Anthony has the potential to be that. Genuinely has the potential to be that.
Just coming to that only, like a little bit brush up on his game. Like he tries to take the ball too deep on the right. I mean, he needs to come in
Yeah.
between the field. What I have noticed a lot in lot of games, he's like the game against Spurs when he tried to come in between. We see what potential he had, like
Correct,
that
correct, correct.
curler which he just missed by a whisker. And then in many games, I mean, even against Arsenal, we saw him come play a little bit in between, not exactly in between, but a little bit rightish.
Even in
And
the Chelsea game, he did that. Even
he did
against
the
Chelsea.
same, exactly. That's my point over there. So even against Everton, he did the same, and he got a goal. He
Go
got
to
that
goal, correct.
equalizer. Yeah, exactly. So I've seen him. He is flopped in Europa League. Majorly, he flopped in Europa League when he played a
Correct.
lot deeper. So deeper is his department. Get him in and get that curlers in. I mean, he can be a good goal scorer also and an assist provider also. Massive asset to the team. And as long as he keeps the feet on his ground, I mean, not get that price tag on his head and that salary on his head, I mean, he has to be there. But for thank heavens, we don't have Pogba in our squad for that.
Tango. And it's a good thing that we, we also ended up digging out the hyena from the stadium just in case we don't have his bad vibes, troubling us, even though he's not
Correct.
there. Yeah. So, Ashish, I mean, we do not have much to talk about Dubravka because he's just played a single game. So, I'm not going
Correct.
to ask you about what about it. So, I'll just ask you to rate United's entire summer transfer window out of 10 based on the players, based on the impact they have had overall. And
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think was the overall performance in the transfer window?
Transfer window was good. Like we got like a very good free transfer, but Anthony was like overpriced. He would have like 70 million a player, but I would say like a proper eight. But we missed on Frankie De Jong, but we instead we got Casemiro. So I would say a solid eight. And the
Fair.
impact the players what like the player like Malasia had did his job, did his job. Ericsson is doing his job from every game. Casemiro, that Chelsea game, man, the mentality about the late equalizer, Casemiro.
I can still hear that primal scream that
Yeah.
he did
So
while
That
he was
roar.
celebrating that goal.
That
yeah.
was
So
roar.
Actually,
so
it
like
literally, yes, it just gives you chills, man. I mean,
like
you
like if that was his moment, like come on, he gonna like he'll definitely give us a
imagine
UCL, I would say.
imagine the scenes if that was the winner of the game. I mean, good
Game, yeah,
lord.
no, listen, no,
You
yeah. If I think he was like a McTominay, there was no Casemiro instead, we could have like lost that game. And like chodo yaar kya jeetna, like chalo it we are happy with a 1-0. But the mentality got that like 1-1, come on, we have to give him credit. And Alessandro, I don't have any words, like he's a best player. Yeah, that's it.
So now we'll go on to. We've had a lot of games played this year, but there has to be one game, which catches your fancy as the best game, where throughout the entire 90 minutes we were complete as a team. Uh, Everything that we wanted to do came out perfectly. So Parthbhai, what do you think, according to you, was your best game for United in the entire year?
I feel the 2-1 win against Liverpool, because we were down and out. No one believed in us. Everyone was saying that okay, लिवरपूल गेम है, कोई बात नहीं, देखा जाएगा, अगले गेम से देखेंगे. Everyone was saying that next game was against, I think, Southampton. And I
Yes.
was they were it, all were like, okay, last year Arsenal also lost three on the trot, their three starting games. United will also lose their three starting games. Then they will start building up and they will grind some results, and
Yeah.
we will somehow come to the sixth, seventh position. But the mentality shown by all the players, Bruno Fernandes in that game, he ran like hell, and Rashford as well, Lisandro, Tyrell Malacia, Rafael Varane, everyone stepped in, everyone stepped up, and that game I feel that United dominated. Yes, not position wise, but yes, chances wise, we had a very clear cut chance inside that those 10 minutes when Ilanga hit that
The
goal.
bar hit the post. Yes.
And yes, and I was like screaming, "What have you done, man? There was only one chance. It's Liverpool. You can't, you know,
Miss it.
throw out chances like this. You will not get another chance." So that game, I think we had three, four clear-cut chances. We converted two of them, and there was slightly. I don't feel that there was any error in that game. And the mentality was top-notch. The tactics were top-notch. Many shots from Liverpool side also. They were from outside of the box, not from the combination play of Diaz or Mo Salah. And Nunes was also out in
He
that
was
game
not
because
playing
of the
that
red
game.
card.
Yeah. He was
Yes.
not.
So they didn't had a plan B, or we played too well. We outplayed Liverpool. So I think that was the best game of this year for me.
Jay, what about you? Your United best game for 2022?
United versus Spurs, no doubt.
Same, same,
Outstanding game. I
same,
mean,
same.
2-0 was scoreline was a little bit disheartening for me. The way we played, we should have at least won 10-0. I mean, not even kidding. The saves that Hugo Lloris had made, I mean, they were outstanding. I mean, and that point of time, I felt Rashford was the one to be blamed of his lack of finishing, and he's just going near the goal and smashing the ball into Loris's face or hand or something where like you have to be clinical when you finish it at such situations. I'm not blaming Rashford for anything. Of course, he's been the top performer right now for us this season, but that scoreline was not convincing for me the way we played. But that game was something else, and obviously against even Nottingham Forest, we were that I would take it as the second best game of the season. The way we played, clinical finishing, saves, I mean, the defensive, everything spot on. Absolutely no margin for error, apart from that small little error of that offside goal which was ruled out. But apart from that, it was a very clinical performance. So I would rate the Spurs game higher, and after that, Nottingham Forest.
And that
Ashish,
with no Lisandro Martinez in that Nottingham
yeah,
Forest
exactly.
match, not
Absolutely
Nottingham
correct.
Lisandro.
Forest,
Absolutely,
exactly.
Yes,
absolutely
correct.
correct. And with Harry
Yeah.
Maguire playing 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did play for the 15 minutes against Arsenal as well, but
Yeah.
we,
That was
we
the
were,
anxiety period.
yeah,
No, that was an
yeah,
anxiety period. There was so
yeah,
much anxiety that time.
yeah. So, Ashish, what about you? Your best game for United this year? This year.
I, I would say Liverpool and the Fulham game. The Fulham game, the emotions that Garnacho had gave that day, it was my birthday, so there was like the proper way to celebrate a birthday. Garnacho's goal and the Liverpool's game, of course.
So for me, I'll go a little left. My favorite game for this year was the 4-2 win against Leeds at Leeds. The scene
Okay.
was the scene was perfectly set. It was raining torrentially, and what better way to mark one of the oldest rivalries in English football in
Yeah.
Leeds. But in that game, I mean, the atmosphere in that game was absolutely mad. I mean, that game, it was like that rivalry had never left. That rivalry
Correct.
never was away. I mean, in spite of the fact that it had been close to 2 decades that United and Leeds did not play each other in a Premier League, it did not feel that way a single minute. I mean, and when Elanga just went about shushing out the Leeds United fans, calm down. Yeah, nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. So obviously we spoke about the best games, and in within those best games there were also some horrible games that we played, where in spite of whatever we tried, it just did not happen. So Ashish, I'll continue with you only. What do you think, according to you, was United's worst game of this year?
Brentford for sure. Brentford game that like the like every tactic has failed that game. Only Ericsson was good, and the defending was like was not at the point. They were trying to do new things that didn't work out, and like it was Brentford. Then the fans were like teasing us. Like that was the worst game.
Jay, what about you? What do you think was United's worst game of this year?
Uh, is Europe counted?
What?
Is Europe
Europa.
counted? European
Yes,
Europa
yes.
counted?
All United games this year. All United games this year.
The game against Sociedad at Old Trafford, I felt we were miserable, absolutely miserable. I mean, that stupid penalty which was being
Yeah,
given out, and
exactly.
That
then
was not a
after that we
penalty.
were,
Yeah, but
yeah,
even
that,
then,
that,
Penalty.
that's
we were
that's
very
that's
poor.
that's an off topic then.
Yeah,
That's
even then we
debatable,
were
but
poor. Yeah.
yeah, even absolutely, we didn't convert our chances. Absolutely no finishing, no passing, no man marking, nothing. I mean, Sociedad were
Ronaldo
just
played that
sitting
game,
back.
no?
He had four
Ronaldo
Yeah,
played.
yeah,
chances himself. He
Yeah,
yeah,
had
for
yeah,
four
nothing.
chances
yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Correct.
Uh, the Ronaldo of 21-22 would have buried those chances.
Exactly.
I mean, but then I think it happens to the best of us. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, missing those chances was bad. But then the fact that we would blame it entirely on him, I don't think would be fair. But yeah, we did miss a lot of chances, and we were absolutely horrible, dude. Like genuinely, it was a pain to watch. But for me, my worst performance. Yeah, Partner, before I tell mine, I'll let you have yours. What do you think was
Yeah.
your worst
I
performance?
feel for me, the worst performance was 4-1 City loss.
4-1? 6-3.
Yeah,
We lost again
no,
6-3,
we
I
lost
guess.
4-1
The
earlier.
last
4-1
season,
also
right?
last season.
Last
Okay,
season.
Yes,
okay.
that
Oh,
that
That's
loss, I
22
felt
only, right?
that apart from Sancho in that match, no one like played for the badge. They were like, okay, it's City, they are going to win, and there was no intensity. No one wanted to win. In fact, Ralph Ragnick also didn't wanted to win. It wasn't like that. He was the substitution was also not aggressive in that match, and even some people also said that in the previous match, the 2-0 loss that we had in Old Trafford versus City, Pep didn't substitute even a single player of City in the previous match.
He did not. He did not.
So that was a shame. We had to put a point at that match that yes, we are good enough. We can at least pull up a draw. But I don't feel that that match was uh, absolutely that was match was low in intensity.
For me, it was the 4-0 Liverpool loss at Anfield. I mean, that was peak United toxicity, peak, absolute peak. The players had already put down their weapons. They were already on holiday in their minds. It took it took Hannibal from the bench to make sure that there was a little bit of feistiness in United's play for the last 10 minutes, and that goes a long way in explaining that whatever had to go wrong in that game went wrong. So for me, it was the 4-0 loss to United. Now we've spoken about everything there has to be spoken. We covered the entire year. We spoke about the manager. We spoke about the players. Now, obviously, this with the year coming to a close, 2023 will have its own set of unique challenges. It will have its own set of ambitions, goals, and aims. Parthbhai, I'll ask you, what are your realistic ambitions for 2003 as a United fan? What would you consider as a successful season for the 2023 to end the to end the 22-23 season basically?
First of all, realistic would be UCL spot, third or fourth spot, because I feel
Right?
that Arsenal and City are going way ahead of us. Secondly, I think that we are in very good position to win the Carabao Cup. We're in the quarterfinals, playing Charlton, I think, and which is a third division team. We can pull off a
Tell me,
win.
tell me the
Fingers.
truth. Did you believe that we got Charlton in the quarterfinals? Did you?
No,
No,
no. I
For
thought
one,
we will get City. Always, City always gets the worst team, and we always get the best team. It's the story of each and every draw. City always gets the third division, second division team, and we always get Aston Villa, Wolves. I was like, I woke up, I saw Charlton, and that was some feeling like, okay, the semi final is near. We can go to the semis easily. So I think Carabao, we can win the Carabao Cup. Uh, Europa League, it's versus Barcelona. Tough to say, but uh, we should at least go at a quarterfinals, semi-finals in your Europa League and FA Cup. I don't think we will gonna win the FA Cup. It will be either Arsenal the way they are playing, or it will be City. It can be Newcastle also, but I don't think we are going to win FA Cup. But a good will be at least a quarterfinal or semi-final will be good, and luck is also there in those draws which team we will get. So I feel yes, this will be a one. I think one title. Either it will be Carabao Cup or it will be a Europa League. So these two, at least we should uh, try to get a silverware this season.
so Jay, what about you? What do you think? What do you think would be realistic for United's season to be considered a success?
Absolutely, get a silverware, even if it means just win the Carabao Cup, at least one trophy. So that could be a major boost. I mean, under Eric Ten Hag for sure. But obviously, we would aim higher of going forward for the FA Cup and the Europa League. I mean, that would sum up a very, very brilliant season for sure. And that would be major boost. Hoping to then compete. If that happens, three trophies. Suppose we could be aiming for the Premier League next season. So fingers crossed just for it. And then, of course, icing on the cake would be the Glazers leaving.
Yeah, that is arguably the best highlight of 2022. I think it will be on top of everyone's list of what is the best thing to happen for the club in 2022. But we will talk about that much more in depth in later stages, as and when we get proper details about the takeover or whatever it is. Ashish, what do you think are your realistic expectations for the second half of this season?
realistic is like that finish a get a UCL spot and at least win a cup. I would say Carabao is the easiest way right now. I would say we are like a 90% chance of winning that if we don't get a final with the City. I would say yeah, but fingers crossed for Europa as well. You never know in Europa, like any big team can bottle. I would say like a Arsenal final, Arsenal versus United final in Europa maybe. But yeah, I would say like a realistic would be a Premier League, UCL spot and winning at least a EPL trophy.
Fair enough. So we spoke about everything, and with that, we come to an end of a very interesting stream. Uh, before I speak about whatever we talk about our social media, whatever, we at MUSC NCR, MUSC Red Devils NCR, are deeply saddened by the loss of Pele, and
Exactly.
we all of the people in the panel and our entire fan base also would like to express our deepest sympathies. May he rest in peace, and hopefully wherever he is, football will remember him, and his legacy will never be deleted and will never be tarnished for whatever reason it is. He was the original king and will always remain the original king.
Okay.
So if you guys have loved our stream and have spent time watching this, do show us love by liking, sharing, and subscribing on our YouTube channel. We will be keeping on coming with new content, and this is just the start of a lot of things to come. We are also available on Twitter and Instagram, so do drop us a follow there. And I say this on every stream. I will say this today as well. Every day is match day on our official WhatsApp group. You do not want to
Correct.
miss that as well. Also, we have our website where you can check out a lot of interesting stuff. There are prediction competitions. There are quizzes. There is also a blog section where you can go ahead and read out everything that is United. So go ahead, give that a check, and do stay tuned with us. We will be back soon. For now, this is Delvin along with Parth, Jehan, and Ashish, wishing every one of our fans a happy New Year, and may 2023 bring all of you good luck, good health, and all happiness. With that being said, it's goodbye from us. We will see you soon. Do take care. Stay safe. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Bye. Happy New Year.